If there was ever a picture frame or a still shot that encapsulates the entire series of Phoenix Wright, so far at least, it's the judge's head in shock beside a picture frame up on the screen of Money the Monkey. This is Ace Attorney in a nutshell. Hey everyone, my name is Calvin, also known as Wormer, and this is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, and this is the trial. We are trying our best to get through this. I'm seeing if the monkey was the right thing to do. I think it was, because the monkey has been bringing stuff, I think, to the acrobat ever since his accident, or at least beforehand as well. I'm not quite sure on the details with that. Also, I want to say before we start this video, I want to thank you so much for the support on the last video, because I wasn't sure how it was going to do or how anything was going to be received, because it's been like almost a month since we played the last episode of this. I never like to ask for likes or people to subscribe or anything like that, or people to comment. So it makes me very happy that people just want to engage with these videos, and I'm going to shut up about that now. I just want to thank you guys very much, because it does mean the whole world to me. Let's get into this. A monkey. Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist ring. Yes. So are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. I love when this music starts. I love it. Oh, the face is changing, Acro. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Yep, Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? The bronze isn't at all shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometime and read the court record. It wasn't, what? Those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order, order, I said order, Miss Von Karma. Where is the bust in question at this moment? Yeah, where is it? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is rather strange, a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used in the murder, as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon, purely by accident? Yes, I think so. It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible, yes, that Acro was the murderer. Yes, it was. Moron. Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Don't seem so flamboozled. Oh shit, I pressed the court record again. Especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You've forgotten that the fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. That's the bust! It's the bust in a cape! It's the bust in a cape! There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's... Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony? We caught him lying like 3 times. What? There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony? Can you imagine having a friend and he lies to you like 3 times in the space of 10 minutes, and then he says one thing to you and you're like, well, I have no reason to doubt you. No. Sorry. Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were 2 people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Oh shit, Tree? Who was the murderer the clown saw? What? How am I... This doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, let's think this out. Let's think this out because my thought process is because we know that Russell Berry took the jacket, right? Took his jacket. That's what we thought of before. We know that he took the jacket out. Right? Because that's what we're thinking, yeah? What if, like, somehow when he dropped it on him, it, like... That's so dumb. No. I was gonna say, like, it hooked the jacket. Because who else could it be? We couldn't, like, it wasn't Mo, for sure. Like, okay, let's cancel it out. Wasn't Bat. Wasn't Acro. Wasn't Mo. It could... Russell was one of the persons at the scene of the crime. But if my theory about the thing, like, hitting him... And then, like... I don't know, snagged or something, like... Regina's not tall enough. You would know it was Regina right off the bat. Obviously, it wasn't any of these people either. I'm gonna go with this. And, like, if it's true, it's true. If it is, that's the silliest thing ever. What is this supposed to mean? Yeah, like... Yeah, no. I have nothing else. If I fail, I fail. Do you mind explaining that to me as well? You're getting barraged with questions, Nick. Why is that? Is it because you're on the wrong track? Oh. Then the murder occurred oh, shit. Wait a second, I'm an idiot! The bust! Oh my god. Okay, this has been a series of failures. It's the bust! He saw Max... I asked who was the other person most on the scene. See, my thought process was that, like, maybe, like, because he was wearing Max's jacket. Like, the thing might have, like, felt like he'd snagged on him and he dragged it up or something. I don't know. I completely got that. I was out of this world on a different planet. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said he saw Max's silhouette. But he didn't actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. This makes sense. Oh, the music is starting. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach the cloak to a bust. That is true. Yeah, that was my first thought. It would be easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's hand, and they would look like padded shoulders. Idiot, who in the right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance in this case, don't you agree? Oh, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. 3 again? Who put the cloak on the bust? Well, if I go with my original thought pattern, it would be Russell. It would be Russell because he was wearing the. We had the thought a few episodes back, which, by the way, I went back and watched a few of the episodes, or at least skimmed through them. And one of the thought process I had that he borrowed the jacket and borrowed like his cloak going out in the cold. So I'm just gonna say Russell Berry. If we get it wrong, we get it wrong. We have 2 left. We have 1 more survival thing. We'll be fine. I'm gonna go with this because even though it's crazy, I'm going with it. Fool. Him? You were saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Oh, did I get this wrong? Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. I failed so much in the past 2 episodes that I'm actually getting worried, and I guess it's because they're getting harder and it's kind of more difficult to, like, ascertain what's going on. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. I just thought it was because it was cold, but maybe that's true as well. Someone's playing Tales of Vesperia. Thanks very much. I'm very glad they're playing Tales of Vesperia Go. It's very good. One of my close friends. Just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house. by none other than the ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. What a bastard. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim. Wait, fell off? I suppose it's a... Wait. Hold on a second. What? Okay, that's way different from what... And it just plays... That's way different from even what I was saying. I thought it would, like, snag on it or something. Like, upward. Like, he dropped it down and as he was pulling it back up. As much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? Come on. Come on, really? The impact of the bus on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged on the... Okay, it snagged, yeah, but I thought it would do it naturally. Like, it fell down his head, and then, like, pulled up and, like, dragged it up. That's what I was thinking. So I was wrong still. That impact caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls the Clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling up the bust. And that is how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky came to be. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the scene of the crime. Acro, it could only have been you. Oh, he's calm. He's calm. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. Good pun. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Yes, Judge. Evidence. Evidence. Right? In this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip. Evidence, Judge! I still love he's like, where's the evidence? Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there could only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual on Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get out of this jam. A contradiction in Mo's account. That's enough talking amongst yourself. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Wait, so Mo gave his testimony. It doesn't show it there. I don't know why I'm going into a map. Okay, Mo's testimony. He says he saw Max fly away. He also said that Max had all of his signature items on him as well, right? Or was that Trilo? Said he had the hat, the white rose, the whatever this is, the feather, is it? Or the feather and the card and the cape. But here's the thing. Oh, yes. Okay, here's the thing though. The hat was found at the crime scene. And where's the crime photo? Okay, that's not it. Is there a picture of the crime scene that I want to just use as an example? Here, if the hat was found at the crime scene, how then did he see Max fly away with his hat on? The problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Three symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday there were two contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white rose were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. Yes, however, remember the mole said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's. You're going down, Von Karma. Look at this. Mo cannot be trusted. Like, I'm sorry, but like at this point, like, can we even like come close to trusting Mo in any way, shape, or form? Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match that. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like you to see, well, the clown lied multiple times. Can you do it, Nick? Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Dr. Robot playing Animal Crossing? That's my nephew. Please recall the instance when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Phoenix, if I'm honest, I'm not following this as much as you are. It means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Yes! Okay, that's something I just didn't register for a second, which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Perfect. This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down the road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick, then maybe Von Karma will find you throwing the towel. Oh, there's that glove again. Well, oh, that's a good face. So much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. The witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Motive is important. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Maybe. Your Honor, I'd like to hear Acro's story. I'd like to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life until now. What do we do? There's no doubt that Acro's deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. Shit. I feel like recess always like favors Von Karma though. There's rarely a time where I feel like a recess ever favors us. But like, we have to win in the end. We have to try at least. It is clearly the next day. You can see the different times where I play these games. Depending on the time of the day. December 30th, 2:17 p.m. District Court. Defendant to lobby number 5. I can't believe it. Acro? It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is, and to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. He is. Oh, his eyelash is falling off. That's a really nice touch. Jeepers. Am I that hated? Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose. He did? Psst. But I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know? But you're not, which is kind of the reason why. Hey pal, oh, it's Gumshoe. You're gonna ignore me after I went to all the trouble to bring you some evidence? Ah, Detective Gumshoe. Forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways. That's not how your freaking job works, Gumshoe. Freaking corrupt police officer over here. Now, detective, I'm sorry. Look, why don't you relax a little? We got some really tasty milk. How about a card trick, detective? Oh, well, if you insist. Now, about that evidence you mentioned, what is it? Yeah, what is this evidence? Here you go. It's like it's a bloody tissue? Huh. This was yesterday in Acro's room. Yep, and I've included the forensic results. Take a look later. Take a look at it later. Won't Miss Von Karma be mad that you're doing this? That's why this is all a secret. Huh? Look, details are on need-to-know basis, and we're not really allies or anything, but everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan. I don't know, Miss Von Karma didn't seem in control of things in there just now. You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were set into motion. This is corrupt as hell. This is so corrupt. That reminds me, I've got a message from the prosecutor for you. Nothing is ever truly decided until the very end. That's it, and that's for me too, pal. I'm out of here. I'm gonna get you fired. You are corrupt as hell. What do you mean by that? The very end part? I'm not sure, it was all pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing. Don't scare me like that. It looks like there's a large care package for the circus for the defendant. What? For me? It's milk. What's with the milk? The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. So hurry up and drink it all before it's... Wait, what's happening? What is the milk? December 30th, 2:27 p.m. District Court number 2. Court is now back in session. Miss Von Karma, please continue from where you left off. I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Acro would have had to commit this crime. Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed with your testimony. Finally, we get them to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Oh, okay, I thought he was talking about like something a little bit deeper, just saying he's nervous. I'm nervous too. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. I always look through these and see, as you know, from every episode, which ones can I press? I'm not gonna press this. That makes, you know. That's when the ringmaster of the circus, the very big circus, Russell Berry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. You're such a thoughtful young man. He sounds it like there's nothing really there that I can... Like, what can I can't call him a liar or any of that stuff, right? As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I believe it in a way. I believe it. But, like, I think there's something darker going on here. I wonder how anyone could think that Acro would kill the man he held in such high esteem. You're absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for cross-examination, is there? Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. For once, I actually kind of agree with the judge in this one. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? Oh, okay, you're asking that question. I thought he was asking the question whether he should, like, cross-examine him. I actually agree with Von Karma and the judge here. I think it would just be really redundant to do this. We're probably going to do it anyway, but, like, still, I think it's really redundant to cross-examine the witness here. This might be my last chance. I'm going to say no need, right? I feel like we're going to get absolutely nowhere with this. And I've never said no need, right? Because every time there has been a need, but I'm going to say no need to question him now. There's no need to cross-examine this witness. What's that? Oh, did we fail? Why was the ringmaster murdered? There's no need to delve deeper into that bit of testimony when I know the answer. You do? Do you want to fill me in on it? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to ask a question. Go ahead, I'd like to ask a question. Okay, go ahead, Your Honor. I would just like to know, can you provide an explanation as to why Acro would want the ringmaster dead? I can't. I can't. I can't. Am I gonna fail here? Is this a game over? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start, Your Honor. The reason that Acro killed the Ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the Ringmaster at all. Okay, Phoenix. I think one of the biggest things in any case is like motive. I think... Are we... Are we okay here? I'm worried. Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools are so foolhardily foolish. Did you forget? You made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was. This is the real killer of Russellberry's Ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. The end of things? Acro. You didn't plan to kill the Ringmaster at all, did you? The Ringmaster wasn't your target that night. Then who? What did you just say? I'm saying that the target of the witness's murderous plot was not the Ringmaster. Because it was never his intention to kill Russellberry to begin with. What? Bailiff, I don't care who it is, smack anyone who's loud in the face twice if you must. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do in my court to my court? Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do with his court? She just asked the same question anyway. Are you attempting to imply the Acro was trying to kill someone else? Wait, is this what you have to do? Do you have to present something? Is it? Like, who would he be trying to kill, though? Like, we don't have a lot of evidence. Is the blood thing? Bat scarf stained with his blood and a small quantity of pepper. Bronze statue placed by Acro in Regina's pocket. You haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago, have you? I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Did he want to kill Regina because of his brother? And the accident that happened with the lion? Regina Berry? Is this it? This is it. This young girl is the Ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro, you were really aiming for her that night, weren't you? Oh, the face changes. You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirited leading question. He could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to say is you're wrong. That's it. That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Enough, Mr. Wright. Allow me to... The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. I'm getting a real feel for your character, Von Karma. Huh? And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence now. We have evidence. I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. So that's the first time I did that, by the way. Present evidence that proves Acro once looked at the evidence before the profiles, and it actually helped a lot. I'm gonna present the note. We can present the line as well, I suppose, but the note might make more sense. The reason why I think the note might make more sense is because it's concrete evidence, I suppose. There we go. All right, Mr. Wright. At this point, the only thing that's important is the evidence. This better not be a bluff. You're not going to fool me, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Those two are finishing each other's sentences now. Wait, what? Did I press something wrong? It must be a special bond between Whipper and Whipper. My pace... Did I press something wrong? It's the note. Right? Did I press something wrong? I'm sure I pressed the note. Did I not press the note? I'm gonna have to watch that back again, guys, because I thought I looked away for a second as I did it. Did I press something else? You don't remember you remember this, don't you? That's It's a piece of paper that we found inside the ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat? Acro wrote this note. It's ironically titled, "To the Murderer." Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 p.m. So you're saying that that he called Russell Berry with that note? Yes, but here's just one little problem. Problem? Acro did indeed place the note in someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the ringmaster. You mean it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry. This makes perfect sense, Mr. Wright, that little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her. Which is why the morning of the crime she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father, the ringmaster, saw the note? That's correct. The ringmaster ended up in that plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake. Instead of Regina. That's incredible. The ringmaster's dead. Remember the testimony the Acro gave us earlier today? Lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. So he couldn't have seen it. He couldn't have seen who it was. Acro had no idea who it was that arrived in the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was. I've got it. Acro thought it was Regina down in the plaza. And that's when he let the bus fly. Hey Nick, isn't Regina listening to all this from the audience? She is. Unfortunately, it's only going to get harsher from here. I hope Regina can handle it. I think she can. I hope she can. I hate to think that she thinks her father would die because of her, though. That's freaking awful. Acro wrote this note to Regina. I originally thought Regina was the murderer. Foolishly foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas. You're so foolish you've even made me sound like a foolhardy fool. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, if you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Yes? What about that line? Well, if the note was meant for Regina Berry, it would mean that this note is declaring that Regina Berry is a murderer. I think it's about the line, right? Right? You just don't get it, do you? What? What did you just say? The ringmaster knew what the note meant, which is why he went to the plaza in place of his lovely daughter. Hold it right there, Mr. Wright. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. I know, it's the lion, right? An incident occurred 6 months ago. And now I'm more ready to show this court what happened at that time. Moron. Wait, are you sure that it relates to the present case? I'm fairly sure. I'm fairly sure that it's to do with the lion, right? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has its start in what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? I think so. Well then, if that's the case, hurry up and tell us about it. What is the conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? I know I'd certainly like to know what it is. If I can't answer that, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. Conclusive evidence about the incident 6 months ago is actually... the lion, like the lion? Wait, this was in the wooden box, but like... oh, should I save? Should I save? Should I save? The reason I'm saying the seasoning bottle over the lion is because we already know about the lion thing, right? We already know this happened, but we're talking about the evidence. The lion isn't evidence. He said that he had evidence for her. Inside the box was the pepper. Wait. Okay, here's my thought process. This was in the box. It's the evidence, right? This has to be the evidence. But did someone sprinkle the pepper on the lion's nose? Is this a cartoon? Okay, here's the thing. Beforehand, my instincts were that the bust, like, snagged onto the thing, and I was right in a way. I'm going with this. Yeah, shoot, that's what I was thinking. Yes! What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix? I'm so glad that we've come back. We have 2 bars left. We failed so many times, like 3 times at this point. We're finally getting things right. It isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence you asked for. What do you mean? Recall that the victim was trying to take the wooden box away with him. He was doing so because this piece of decisive evidence is what was inside. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright. So what exactly are you saying? Are you claiming Regina Berry killed someone with a small bottle of pepper? Yes. Taking it into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw. Foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this. Who was Regina Berry's intended victim? Well... Bat, right? Because that's the lion, right? Because he got bit by Leon? We're gonna... We've just... I'm glad I'm sure of this, because we're so close to fucking getting eliminated here. That is Acro's younger brother. What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead. Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel that his brother is dead. Regina, she did that to him? Do you spend your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dingling. 6 months ago, he was bit by a lion and fell into a current comatose state. A lion? Miss Regina Berry is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Miss Regina could never do something like that. It's just not like her. I agree. I actually agree with this. I agree with this. He's not the victim of an attempted murder. He's the victim of an accident. I see. Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. I kind of agree because Regina is a pretty pleasant girl. Do you think what happened to Bad was actually an accident? It was more than that. I think that someone fucking put fucking pepper on his, The lion biting Bad was no accident at all. I think someone put pepper on the lion's nose or something. What? You're such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There's no way that Regina would ever incite her lion to attack another human being. I don't think it was her. For some reason, I don't think it was her. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being, but Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother Bat. Wait. Do I have to present something? Wait, what? What do you mean? So it's not like the pepper. What do you mean I have to do this? Bat's scarf stained with his blood and a small quantity of pepper? So it wasn't the nose, they put it on... Someone put pepper on Bat's scarf. So it made the lion sneeze? I can't look. That's just a scarf. Acro. That scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. I do love how the birds fly away whenever he gets serious. And who was the one that gave the scarf to Bat? Regina. Regina gave it to him. Regina? There was something more than just blood in the scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper. I love saying pepper. Regina gave the scarf to Bat right before the accident. And she covered it with as much pepper as she could. It's really hard to, like, think of this, though, because, like... Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Yeah, because... And the bird... excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of fingering a criminal, but out of curiosity, what was her crime? Miss Berry gave a pepper-covered scarf to Pat as a present? Where's the crime in that? It made the lion sneeze, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? Smiling. The lion was smiling. Right before Bat was bit by the lion. For a moment, the lion's mouth changed and looked like he was smiling. Lions smile? I've never heard of them smiling, however. Lions sneeze. Yes! Leon wasn't trying to bite Bat at all. Oh, Bat is so cute. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. He sneezed because of all the pepper on the scarf. You fool. I'm the fool. Yes, I don't disagree. This is nuts. Objection! What's the matter, Miss Von Karma? I object for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix Wright, this theory... Oh, the microphone is like off from where it usually would be. I'm sorry about that, guys. This theory, you believe it? You really intend to say that this is how this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do. It's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to the accident, or this joke as he put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. You foolish idiot. Huh. It almost does seem like a terrible joke. Doesn't it? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said is true? Acro. You can't mean... Witness? Are you confirming the defense's claim? Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. Not wrong. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? The same problem it's always been. Evidence. If I drop Max's bust on top of the ringmaster, where's the evidence that proves that claim? You mean the conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the murder weapon, or the lack thereof to be more precise. The murder weapon. We don't have the bust on us, don't we not? We don't have the bust. You know? The bust that the defense claims was used. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered in the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yes, it would be. The bust. Nick, you gotta do something. This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. No, because we searched Acro's room before, didn't we? We would have seen the bust. No, we're seeing how things work out. We're not gonna know, because we were there before, weren't we? It's been so long, guys. If we haven't searched it, I'm gonna look like an idiot. It looks like you finally figured things out, didn't you? Now you know the true meaning of Von Karma total justice. Did I fuck things up? I guess I figured with you that's the least I should expect. You leave no stone unturned. A Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acro's room yesterday. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Acro would not be here as a witness. But to put a point on it, Max's bust was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. You see, Mr. Wright, the bust wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise, and we took Acro directly to the prosecutor's office after that. End of story. Just wait a second. Something's funny about all this. It looks like you lack the final nail to put in my coffin. I'm not trying to bury you, I'm trying to get the truth. But what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the only evidence that is relevant here is that which pertains to the death of the ringmaster. You should know about that. Know that by now. Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bus, where is it now? There's not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where this bus is? Sorry about that, guys. It seems this case is coming to a close. Shit! Did I fail? The defense counter-argument looks to have fallen short. Thank you for your support. Fuck. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I think that brings an end to the cross-examination of this witness. Hold it? Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and just bit my tongue. Yeah, we need time to do what? I'm kind of confused too. She's your aide, isn't she? She is. Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? Are you asking me? The rest is up to you, Nick. Good luck. Yeah, you can't be serious. Acrobats always have their lives on the line, don't they? That's how Acro lived his life until now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. Very good metaphor. If we don't, we're certain to lose. Very well, the defense may proceed. He doesn't have a clue, and I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking the tightrope of logic, there's no room for a false step. Sink or swim, the only way through is forward. Did you say there's no room for logic? That seems like this case. The murder weapon. Where is Max's bus now? Somewhere in the big top, somewhere in this courtroom, somewhere in the lodging. No. This is the fucking weirdest case I've done so far, and I played the first game and this game. This is the only thing that would actually lead to us winning this. It's obvious, the bus is inside this very courtroom. Where? It's obviously where? Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bus once and for all. The judge's bench, the witness stand, the prosecutor's bench. Does he have... Wait. The judge would have seen it, the prosecutor would have seen it. This logic. My head is spinning from all of this. I'm gonna say the witness stand. We've come this far. If we fail, we fail. I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? Are you serious? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you are a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. Oh, listen to this tune! I wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket. Because it's really easy to hide a buster. Are we actually doing this? Are we actually doing... Your penchant for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. Hits me too. I think it's pretty amazing that you can laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bus is under there. We all know that you can't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Miss Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it in the only place that you could hide it. Under your wheelchair. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again. Would you please remove the blanket from your lap? Well done, Mr. Are you serious? Masterfully, I stumbled into this. I stumbled, tripped, and like fell into this. I'm as confused as everyone else in the court right now. Would you not get searched before you went on the stand? You fool. How could you? It's on his person. You've got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, the music is great here too. 2 of them. 2 of them? Miss Von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? There's just one thing I'd like you to know. How did you know to launch a surprise search in my room last night? There were 2 pieces of decisive evidence, the cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away in the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was on this wheelchair, so me and Von Karma technically in some way have won this case together. Miss Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? But she's not getting credit for this. I don't deserve credit for it either. I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of the court, hiding the murder weapon? There's no way I can escape that. So you've got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Well done, Miss Von Karma. It all makes sense now. I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. You definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. I know I sure couldn't. So she was lying just to win a case? I can't believe it. Me, make a mistake. Oh, she made a mistake. Why did you order a surprise search of your room? So, okay, so she's admitting that she isn't perfect, which is good. It's good. It's a good character change. It seems he finally arrived at the truth. Acro? Yes, Your Honor. Did you kill the ringmaster of the Very Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry? Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime. Acro? All my brother wanted was for Regina to like him. That's why he teased her. One day my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard, you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it'd be funny to get him back in the same way. Of course, she didn't want to hurt anyone. And that's why she covered his scarf with pepper. I know she didn't mean for anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her no matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never ever being able to understand her. No, you're guilty of trying to murder a 16-year-old girl. Are we all on the same page here? Are you guys watching this on the same page? He is guilty of trying to murder a 16-year-old girl. Are we? Yeah, that's what you're guilty of, right? And then you murdered her father. The music's amazing here, but still. Your brother became a star. Regina believes in that so purely that she would laugh innocently when saying it, too innocently. I just couldn't stand it, no matter how hard I tried. That's when you decided to do something about Regina. How dreadful. So you're saying that, oh, well, Von Karma showing a little bit of remorse there is pretty interesting. No, that's not what I mean. Ghosts! It's nothing but a murderer. I'm nothing but a murderer, that's who I am. It is heartbreaking to lose your brother like that. And it is heartbreaking the lengths that someone will go to seek revenge. At first I thought I'd kill myself, then I pondered giving myself up. But I just couldn't up and leave. I just couldn't. Not yet. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Fuck, dude, it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. This has been such a strange case. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself. I agree. I agree with you. We're agreeing a lot at this time, Judge. I'm an idiot. No, you're not. I can't believe it. You beat me again. You just have to understand that you're not perfect, and I think that will lead to a lot more wins in cases. Like, you have to realize that that there's human error. And I think because she doesn't believe in her own human error, she can't ever believe that anyone else on her witness stand that is related to her and her case would actually, like, make such an error. I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. We did it. This court is adjourned. We did it. December 30th, 4:27 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 5. Fabulous. But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this. Acro, the ringmaster, Regina, and Bat. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh? That's a good question. I want to know the answer. Okay, like here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. Attempting to crush a little girl's skull with a bust is not a good thing to do. Especially when Regina and Bat were like close friends, and she'd have to have eaten herself up about this. No matter what way I look at it, if he had followed through with that and actually done that, it would have been horrible. He also left Regina in the same position, some might say even worse, without her father. Just like by accident Regina left him without his brother. He inflicted the same pain that he feels onto Regina. It's pretty horrible. Many congrats, but only at Max a million of them. Thank you. What's with the vibe in this room? We're just thinking about Acro. No. If you worry about people too much, then you'll be like this forever and never be happy. Huh? Oh, Regina, don't cry. I'm sorry I ever suspected you. She's been like this for a while now. Oh no, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You need to understand this. It's not your fault. Sweetie pie. Bat and Acro, they're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up. Oh, that is pretty heartbreaking. Mr. Wright, tell me something. What do you want to know, Regina? Acro says something right at the end. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Does that mean that Acro... is he gonna try and get his revenge on me? Look, I don't think so. He's not gonna do that to you, Regina. Are you sure? You're really sure? I can't believe that. If Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore. If that's true, then I want to see some evidence. Huh? I want to know you're not just making this stuff up. She's such a sad crying. I can't look at it. Wait, evidence? I want to present Bat. Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open up his eyes again. I was just saying that like maybe him and Bat, he realized how close Regina and Bat were. That's right. Regina, he's still alive, you know. I never knew, but now that Acro's been caught... I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Bat as long as it takes. Oh, Regina. Until he opens his eyes and then... until he can meet Acro again. In this case, in terms of morals, and being a good person, Regina is a hyper good person. Being able to do this to the man who tried to crush your skull is pretty freaking impressive. Like, we have to admit it. That's so sweet of you, Regina. I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat. Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind. Hey, Max. What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand. What a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now? That's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone's sticking together. Staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I've made a decision. What is it? I've decided that I will take over as the new ringmaster. I'll turn the circus into the best circus this world has ever seen. The best circus the world has ever seen? Don't laugh. That's quite the goal. Yeah, I can't wait. Then I guess that changes things. Huh? There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means the circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max, let's work together and make our circus super fabulous. I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you? I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me. You did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. Okay? What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think I brought you to the court today? Huh? We've got to work together to make Berry Big Circus bigger than it's ever been. Mo. Mo's right, sweetie pie. It can't be the Berry Big Circus without Regina Berry. Max. Nick, it seems like everything is going to turn out alright here. I can't wait to go see the best circus in the world's ever seen. We'll save you the most fabulous seats. It'll take us a while to get ready, but I'm going to order the special whoopee cushion seats. Wait, what's happening? I see. What made the case? Yesterday's surprise raid, it really paid off just like you said it would, sir. You had it all figured out, didn't you? It was just a theory. If Acker really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. Especially if he was the defense attorney. You miss Mr. Wright? Of course. Well, Detective, my plane is about to leave. As for Mr. Acker's case, you need not worry. I plan to personally stop by the chief's prosecutor's office as soon as I get back. What? Holy shit. I have chills. Oh my god. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in this next case. This looks crazy already. This is pretty freaking huge. That was a really fun case. It was crazy. I'm kind of still in like this kind of shock. My body's in shock from the ending there. I kind of had a inkling suspicion, but I didn't think it was going to be him. Also, I don't mean to harp on the stuff with like him dropping a thing on a girl or on a victim. No matter what, if it was a girl or man, I know it sounded weird being like a 16-year-old girl, but the only reason I said that is because like, you know, she's like such a young person. To drop something on their head like that would have been horrific. Even with the old person, well, it's horrific as well. Not old, older. But I'm just saying that, like, no matter what the intention was, he was trying to kill her. I'm just staring at Edgeworth's face. What do I do? What do I do? I'll see you guys next time. This is going to be crazy.